Hello guys, so welcome back to my another video on Linux and networking. So in my last video I explained about the port forwarding. So port forwarding is one of the solution to a problem where we have a client which does not have any access to a machine on the private LAN, but it has access to one of the machine to a public machine, and that public machine has an access also to a private LAN. So port forwarding approach is very useful, or it works very well where we have sudo rights on public machine to change the firewall rules. So if you remember, in my last video we changed some firewall, or we added some firewall rules on public machine so that public machine can forward traffic from one port to the port on private machine. Yeah, but in this through Sss tunneling we will use some another approach here. Suppose a person does not have an access to the firewall to change the firewall of public machine, right? Then there is another way to achieve this, so it's called Sss tunneling. In Sss tunneling we will basically create a tunnel from client to our public machine, and through that tunnel we will whatever packet we will send, it will be received by private LAN. So this kind of tunneling is called local SSH tunneling. There is another remote SSH tunneling and dynamic SSH tunneling. I will be creating videos for that, but in this video I will just show the local SSH tunneling. Yeah, so now let's go to our machines. Yeah, so machines are the same. Let me quickly go. So we have here client which is connected to a Wi-Fi router. It has only one network interface card. Then we have a public machine which is connected to private LAN also, and also to a Wi-Fi router. And then we have a private machine which has only one network interface card which is connected to our private LAN. Yeah, now let's quickly go to the machines. So I will highly recommend guys if to watch my first video on port forwarding. So then you, because there I explained it in more details. Yeah, so about our machines infrastructure and what is port forwarding, that will help you to understand our infrastructure. But yeah, if you are just interested in SSH tunneling, then this video is enough for you. Yeah, so now let's log in into machines. Yeah, yeah, so now let me show you here IP-ADDR. So here we have a machine. This network interface card is connected to this IP 10.0.6.1. So how to add an IP? It's a very simple command, which way I follow forward. So basically I use this command to add a static IP to this network interface card. I explained this in more detail in my last video on port forwarding. You guys can look into that video. And then in this machine we have IP-ADDR, we have two network interface cards. Again, one interface card is on one LAN, private LAN 10.0.60.0, and then there is a public IP of assigned by my Wi-Fi router. Now let me show you if this machine, public machine, can access private machine 10.0.60.1. Yeah, so yes, ping is successful. In the same way, let's see if this machine can be accessed 10.0.60.2. yeah, okay, good. And now we have a client here. So in client we have IP80DR. So we have only one network interface card which is given to us by our Wi-Fi router. Yeah, so this client cannot access our private machine. Let's try to access .60.1. yeah. No, I think there is some route in it. I added and -100. Yeah, I added one route in this machine now. So if you see, this machine cannot access our private machine. Yeah, and in this way, the same way, this machine, our private machine cannot access our client machine 1.968.2.171. network is unreachable. Yeah, so good. So now the connectivity is fine. Now, as I explained in my last video also, we will create a process here on our private machine, sudo ncat -i -l 80. So we have a process on this machine, and we can access this process from public machine telnet 192.10.0.60.180, but we cannot. Yeah, so let's run it again, but we cannot access this process from here. So if I say telnet 10.0.60.1.80, so there is nothing. Yeah, because this machine does not know about that, and also this machine cannot access it through 92.168.2.169 public machine, because public machine, we have removed all the port forwarding logic from the public machine. We assume that we don't have sudo rights on public machine to change the firewall, so port forwarding is not possible. We cannot use IP tables to port forwarding on public machine. So the another solution is to create a SSH tunnel. So how we will create an SSH tunnel? We will just fire SSH command -l. So here we will say that, okay, let's say port 8080 on client machine and 10.0.60.1, yeah, of private machine. Then this is the username of our public machine and IP of our public machine 168.2.169. So we have created a SSH tunnel. Now let's go to this machine and let's try to do telnet now. 10.0.60. no. So since we have mapped our port 8080 on local host with the port 80 of private machine, so how we will connect to the private machine? So we will use telnet localhost 8080. You see, now whatever we are doing here, it is all the traffic is getting forward to our private machine. So we connected to localhost, our local host, through our 8080, because when we were creating SSH tunnel, we told the SSH tunnel that, okay, map our 8080 port to the 80 port of the private machine. So that's all about local SSH tunneling. Yeah. In the next videos I will be explaining the remote SSH tunneling, which is other way around. For example, you want to access this client from our private machine, since private machine also cannot access anything from the client machine. But if somehow we want that, then we will create a tunnel here again on client machine, which we will call it remote tunnel. Then private machine will be able to access this client machine through remote tunnel. Thank you guys for your time. So that's all about SSH tunneling. Yeah, I will come up with the next videos for the dynamic tunnel and remote tunnel. Bye bye.